starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Well. Just realized that the title on X is the old title from yesterday. Unfortunately, I mustn't have updated that when I did the updates in the studio. So actually, we got a slightly different title on YouTube, which is just the way it goes sometimes. I don't know how that happened because I was sure that I did it. But in any case, what's the title of the show? We'll have to have a look on YouTube because that is the title. Let's see what it was. Because I've still got yesterday's title up there. It is actually Bitcoin repricing, Ethereum soon, Pulsechain waking up, Clarity Act coming. So quite a different title from the one yesterday, Michael Saylor's strategy. Just it is what it is. So let's get into the show though, and get into the chat there, say hello, all that good stuff, and let's see where we go from here. It's going to be a bit of fun. All right. I think I've pinned it to the top. Yeah, that looks good. We've got quite a bit of market news today, a few rumors about Richard Hart. So I think it's going to be a fun show. So let's get into it without further ado and kick that off. All right, let's find out where we're going here because I thought I had everything set up, but apparently it wasn't 100%. That's just the way it goes. It's tough in the big city. There. We've got the US stocks edge lower after Wall Street hits record highs on Iran hopes. Now, when we talk about Iran hopes, right, we know we're dealing with a radical terrorist ideology, right? So they're basically at war with the West, right? So they want this big apocalyptic end time, and they want to play the key role in that. So just remember what we're dealing with. So getting a deal is a deal, but ultimately the regime needs to collapse at some stage. Hopefully, the people rise up and they get some weapons to do it, or whatever happens. But getting some sort of deal will definitely calm the markets down as well. So we'll see all that heads in the future there. But apparently, so-called nuclear deal is on the table. We'll see how that plays out for sure. All right, so we got the Dow Jones at the moment is up 1.25%, 612 points to 49,910. That's on the Dow Jones. If we look at the yearly chart, you can see that we're creeping up slowly to a new all-time high. We're about 200 points away on the Dow Jones. S&P 500 is up 1.5%, 106 points to 7,365. And that is at an all-time high. You can see in the charts. Look at that thing go. The NASDAQ there up 2%, 512 points. A big day in the office to 25,838. And that's pushing new all-time highs as well. So just think about that. We are at all-time highs in the stock market. We've had a pretty aggressive V recovery. We have still very good PE ratios. I think they're still around average of 22 on some of the benchmarks. So it's, it can still go up. Now, obviously, we're expecting to have a pullback somewhere along the way this year, but I suggest to you we're going to have a pretty aggressive 18 to 24 months on the markets because we're getting a lot of costs and productivity from AI, which is delivering some pretty bottom line improvements to everything. And some people suggest that this will continue for the next 5 years, getting those sort of returns, which is pretty huge. Not for everybody, but on average, they'll squeeze out more goodness out of the AI systems there. Now, we know that, think about the compute that you need, right? So if you're going to have an AI race, you've got to have an energy boom. So energy's got to do well. You've got to build a lot of energy. If you're going to have AI, you've got to have a lot of compute power. So computer chips, semiconductors, all that sort of stuff has to boom. And that's a multi-year boom. Think that they're trying to AI everything. And of course, with AI comes a lot of risks, but it gets even riskier when we get robots. We're now in the world of Terminator. And so we've got all those risks, and it's real. So we'll see what happens. At first, it's going to be very novel. Oh, look at that cute little robot. But then it gets very serious after a while. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, they can't help make military robots, right? So that's the big thing. So we'll see where that all lands, but that's some of the stuff we're going to see. Obviously, on the positive side, we're probably going to see a whole ton of Optimus Prime robots from Optimus Prime robots from Elon Musk land on Mars, and I think that will be a great sight indeed. Hopefully, we don't end up having war with Mars, fighting the robots which are now producing themselves or something like that, crazy like that in a couple of decades. We'll see. We got Tam Tam in the house there. Hello, my lovelies. Great to see you, Tam Tam, and welcome to the chat. Well, let's see. So great performance in the stock markets, up and away, guys. US dollar is down, actually below 98. We're at 97.8. Remember, that was 108 when Trump came into power. The VIX is down at 17, so it's risk on, guys, risk on. Let's go to commodities. Commodities at West Texas at $95 is down slightly. Brent oil is at $101. That is down slightly as well. Still, obviously, there's quite a bit of a risk premium in there from the Strait of Hormuz issue in Iran, sitting at about 50%. So obviously, we'll be looking for that to disappear at some stage if a deal is done. Could be this week. We'll see. We'll see whether a deal is done or not. And of course, with the deal, there's not trusting. You don't trust extremists. You verify, right? That's the thing. And then enforcement, right? That's sort of the idea. Gold at the moment has had a bit of a good day overnight. I mean, it went up 0.7%, $32 to 4,726. But it has got, a lower high here, and also at the moment, even with the bounce today, still a lower high. Silver, of course, is up 1.9%, $1.45. A decent day for silver, and that is at $78.77. That has had a couple of lower highs there, so definitely rolled over, right? And we talked about that when the price was up here. Remember, take profits, set it, and there we go. And the other thing, of course, copper there sitting up around $6.18 is pushing higher as well. And it's funny having, obviously gold's come back a bit, but having copper and gold up at the same time is kind of a bit weird because obviously copper's around the economy performing well, and gold is kind of like a risk-off store of value type of play, isn't it? So I know that all the gold miners up in the Yukon, is it the Yukon? I think it is. They're all mining their hearts out to get as much gold as they can. And I've been watching some of those weekly gold updates from on TV. Or at least when I say TV, on the internet. There we go. All right, so it's pretty interesting stuff. All right, so Wall Street there hits a record high on Iranian optimism. Wall Street indexes hit a series of record highs this week, aided chiefly by signs of cooling tensions between the US and Iran. Media reports said the White House believed it was close to a deal with Iran to end the war, with the two expected to seek more detailed negotiations on Tehran's nuclear activities. Separately, President Donald Trump also struck an upbeat tone on potentially ending the war with Iran this week. Earlier this week, Trump paused a military operation aimed at reopening the Strait of Hormuz on commercial shipping, of course, Operation Freedom there. Oil prices fell sharply on this notion, while risk-driven assets rallied. Well, there's still a big risk premium in there, right? 50% or so. Wall Street was also boosted by a rally in chip-making stocks after industry major AMD clocked strong first quarter earnings and flagged positive outlook for the industry. And that's what I talked about before at the beginning about energy and computer power. So that's pretty interesting. I could see a scenario in the future where you've got all these big computer power base stations, as it were, these star systems they're setting up all across America and China and places, and that being the epicenter of a battle between humans to take them out at some stage, because AI is starting to wipe out humans. That's that kind of scenario there. AI fueled demand for servers and data center infrastructure was a key driver of earnings, and we consider that to continue. That or should be a multi-year theme, because if you're going to automate and AI everything, that's a lot of stuff in the world, right? Just think of how much stuff that is. So pretty crazy stuff. The other thing about all this technology is that it can lock people out of the system, right? We know there's plenty of bad people, bad leaders in the West. They can use this technology to lock you out of the system. And boy, we've seen some pretty bad things happen with that. The 20th century, of course, gave us some huge examples of that playing out. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now with the old numbers there. I think we got the non-farm payroll, have we? Non-farm payroll coming at some stage. It's due on Friday, so we're going to get non-farm payrolls on Friday. What are we expecting for that? Apparently we got 178K, so that was better than forecast. There we go. All right, so let's jump over to the markets, shall we? Well, Tom Lee is talking about the markets, so let's hear from him, and let's see what he's got to say about that. I'll have to pause myself as usual so that I don't get any double feedback there. So let's play this video. So that is Tom Lee, and just as a summary there, the S&P 500, 7,300, still fuel for more upside, two more risks, big risks ahead from his point of view, the new Fed chair, Wash, and of course a petroleum shortage. That won't affect the United States, but it will affect the rest of the world, at least particularly China and India and other places, the Europeans to some degree as well. So that's kind of where we set that. But he does see the market exiting at the end of the year at 7,700 or higher, and I would definitely be up in that high side, and that bodes well for crypto as well, right? So get excited. Pulse Bitcoin's in the house. Hi all, good to see you, Pulse Bitcoin. Welcome to the chat as well. We've got Leech Star here also. Let's get bullish, people. Absolutely nothing happens until we get bullish. LFG peoples, it's time to ostracize all of the bears and the ostrich eggs. And the ostrich eggs, great to see Leech Star in the house. Welcome. All right, so that is Tom Lee. Let's get to the crypto markets. So let's see where the markets are. I'm going to do a refresh because, it's worth doing. So we've got the total market cap at the moment at $2.769 trillion with a big T. That is down 0.2% at the moment. Still a very small market, but nice to see us moving higher. Bitcoin at the moment at $81,084, down 0.2%, but still up 6.3% for the week. Ethereum there is down 2.1% at $2,321, up 2.2% for the week. XRP at number 4 is down 0.2%, $1.41, up 2.1% for the week. Number 5 is BNB. It is actually up 1.6%, $644 and up 4% for the week. And number 7 is Solana at 1.6% at $88.13, up 5% for the week. So the best performer behind Bitcoin there. Tron is up 0.6% today, 34.5 cents, and up 6.9% for the week, even outdoing Bitcoin there. And finally, Doge at number 10 is down 3.6% today, so a bit of a correction there, but sitting just over 11 cents and is up 2.6% for the week. And of course, we're expecting it to benefit from X Money launch from Elon Musk on X. So keep a lookout for that. What else? We got the top performers in top 100. We got Toncoin there from Telegram, up 31%. Venus token, that's popped in the top leaderboard there, up 19%. Near token there, up 12%. Siren up 9.5%. And finally, number 5, up 7.9% is Internet Computer. Those are the top 5 over the last 24 hours in the top 100. Top 5 over the last week in the top 100 is Sky AI. It's a little bit like Skynet. Stay tuned. Up 175%. Toncoin there, number 2, up 898%. What a 2x on the old Toncoin there. Zcash up 67% as well, and Dash as well. So 2 OGs in the house, up 67 and 49% respectively. And finally, a new entrant there, Venus, hitting at number 1 spot actually. It's sitting at number 100, is up 37% for the week. So ended the top 100 there. Top 1,000, we've got Commonwealth, Billions Network, and Lab. They're all doing pretty good, all up over 60%. And then trending overall is Fire, Unstable Coin, and Toncoin there trending in the mix. Unstable Coin there up apparently 618%. So that's definitely unstable for the unstable coin. But that's kind of where we are. So just down slightly on the total market cap there for crypto. Let's jump over to some of the big news out today. And that, of course, is a MasterCard. Traditional MasterCard there. And Ondo Finance, and of course we talked about Ondo Finance yesterday, I think it was, because they're doing one of the leaders now, a new entrant and one of the leaders, I guess, in tokenization, and they're going at scale. They're going full guns, Ondo Finance. So Ondo Coin had a little pump over the last couple of days, and I think got it like to 36 cents or something. But that'd be one to look out for, right? As the old Ondo, if it keeps up all these partnerships and scaling trading with tokenization, taking all the traditional markets over to crypto. That might be one of the strong re-raters in that space, right? So Ondo Finance there. You can also use the app as well and get into traditional stock things on blockchain. So it's kind of, you don't have to need a broker or anything like that. You might have to sign a few forms though, depending on what it is. We've got Kinex by JP Morgan and Ripple successfully completed a landmark transaction connecting a public blockchain to bank settlement rails. So there we go, folks. That is been done. It has been done. We're at a turning point in history there. Public blockchain with interbank settlement rails. It's all on now. Together, we're laying the groundwork for 24/7 global markets, and that's the holy grail, right? Getting all those traditional markets 24/7, just like we have in DeFi and crypto. So big deal happening there. You can see the players in the mix there. So big one on that one. So not bad. All right, so that is happening there, and Ondo there, of course, publicizing that a lot. And of course, you can check out their dApps at the top, Ondo.finance. They've got a couple of dApps there, at least one major platform there. You can even join up with your wallet. You can even buy Stretch from Strategy, all those sort of things. So big deal there. Look at that. So huge news, a very turning point, connecting the public blockchain with internal bank rails. OMG. All right, so let's jump over to Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin's like. Well, Bitcoin obviously had a bit of a pump last night on the news around the possible Iranian deal. And we had a rally. And this was also after Strategy had their first quarter results and had talked about potentially selling Bitcoin. Now, that selling Bitcoin was only if it was going to be Bitcoin accretive and that it would be using the capital taxes to credits to do that. So there is some fine print on the old selling crypto. Selling Bitcoin, I should say, and that would be for accretive reasons there to pay dividends, right? To pay dividends for Stretch. So they're probably just over the last 2 days probably softened down the old Stretch reaching $100 because it's been only getting to about 98 cents, maybe 99 cents top. I think it's 98. So that has not printed ATM yet. So days are ticking, right? Days are ticking because we've got 2 days this week and 4 days next week. So we're down to 6 days. So obviously that's going to have to get to $100 and start printing at least to get a couple of days where we get a couple of $1 billion. It looks like next week is going to be the game on there. So a little bit different there. We have got the current price here on Coinbase at 80,919. So it's a little bit softer than what we saw on CoinGecko there. And we saw the big rally yesterday. Where did we get to? Well, we got to 82,814. So we did bounce over the 200-day. But what's the problem? Problem is we didn't stay there, right? We didn't close over the 200-day. We're heading there, but we didn't close, and down we've come here on that excitement. So, not as bullish as one would hope, but certainly bullish that we're trying to get there. So we'll see whether we get there in the next sort of 24, 48 hours. Maybe an Iranian deal comes in by the weekend, right? We'll keep a lookout for that. All right, so that is the play. We obviously got out of the bottom range at the moment. We're kind of moving up to a new bracket. But that 200-day moving average is now at $82,071. Pretty key, right? So 82,000. So we want to close over that and start moving higher. Obviously, Bitcoin's getting rarer on exchanges in the sense that there's way more buyers against supply as well. And we're getting everyone coming in, right? So essentially, we have had a slowdown with the ATM. So we'll be looking for that for Stretch to operate. If not before the end of this week, then next week as well. All right, so that's going to be where we're at now. The 50-day is at $75,188. So we're right at the top of that range. So still pretty bullish. Moving to the weekly quickly, we can see the weekly 50 weekly moving averages at 85,800. So we got that range of 82 to 85,800. That is kind of the next zone, right? The next zone to get over. And if we get over that 85,800, it's up and away again, right? We're starting to move up into this sort of 94, 96 range and move higher from there. So pretty exciting there. This is the weekly charts. All right, so keep a lookout for that. Everything is heading well. The supply is getting less and the demand is getting more, right, by quite a bit as all institutions start flying in there. We may also get some news around the White House Bitcoin strategy as well. Within the next week or two. So let's talk about that. We've also got the Clarity Act. We're going to talk about that in a minute. That is also a key catalyst for value moving forward too. Leisha says when the buy and burns release starts to kick in, effect prices you wish you had more Pulsex. Oh, we're talking about Pulse here. We'll come back to that later on the old Pulsechain stuff. We're not up to there yet. Not up to there yet. Leisha, we're not there yet. Front runner. All right, let's move on. So that's Bitcoin right now. Let's jump over to the Bitcoin power law. Where's Bitcoin going? Well, this has been a pretty reliable model, right? The power law here. And we have got the prices at the moment bouncing off. You can see that now. Before we were pretty close to the red line, the support line, but now we're actually bouncing off it. And that's exciting, right? So let me see where that is there. So we're about 81,000 here on the charts. And so, we've got the chance here. Let me see where that chart is actually on. trying to get the dates right. So yeah, 81,000. The bottom, the resistance support line now is 57,000. We've got the midline there, the linear regression fit at 161,000. So think about that. It's where we could revert back to. And then we've got the top of the line, the resistance in purple at 568,000 right now. So that's the range, the power law. I suggest to you that we've come out of a small bear winter rather than long winter, long bear market, because we typically have these little peaks in the middle of the bear market, right? These little peaks here. So I suggest to you that's what the 126K was. And we will get this parabolic run, these big steep runs coming up. That's our next thing, is to get one of these big parabolics. And so we'll probably head up there. Everyone's pretty bullish about 2026. So if we look at 2026, we're talking about $200,000 Bitcoin in the green. So that's probably the very least we'll get to. But look, folks, we could be going well above that this year. We have got the top of the range on the power law, just under 700K. So I suggest you will probably end up between 200 and 700K by the end of the year, noting those two risks that Tom Lee talked about with the new chair, which I think is going to be probably going to be fine. And then with the oil shock, some sort of oil shock. The US, I don't think is going to be too affected by that. But a little bit of inflationary stuff there. And the other side of it is we probably will have a pullback on the way, right? But hopefully we'll be much, much higher when we have a pullback this year. When it does happen, it will be way higher, and so that won't be as bad, if you get my point. Especially if you're buying in from the lows that we just had with the V recovery. So that's kind of the play there. And then, of course, moving out further to the end of 27, because we're pretty bullish about the next 18 to 24 months. And that is 277K is the midpoint in green, 900,000 in as the top of the purple line there, the resistance. So I think we're in for a very good year. We'll continue to get the benefits from AI, with the bottom line on companies. We'll continue to have energy expand, compute power expand, applications will boom. And of course, that includes everything that's happening on Pulsechain. Sorry, not on Pulsechain, on the blockchain, with all these mega themes from stablecoins to tokenization to agentic AI, all coming over to the blockchain. And of course, the new sort of finance/monetary system being transposed onto the chain. And we just saw news of that today, right? So that's what I just showed you, a big deal between the public blockchain and the interbank system with Visa and Ondo and Ripple and others. So pretty exciting times. It's happening, guys, and it's all going to speed up at very, very fast, very exponentially. Exponentially, is that a good word? All right, so very exciting. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment is at 2,316. Ethereum is, finding it a little bit harder to move up, but everything is just as bullish, if not more bullish for Ethereum. And when it blows, it's going to go. It's going to go, absolutely go. We've had a lot of resistance at 2,400, right? Give or take, $25. We had a nice rally, yesterday. We got up to $2,424. We're now down at 2,315. So, a lot of selling in here, but it's going to disappear. And we've also had, Tom Lee is still buying around about 100,000 ETH a week. And he's got to continue to do that. Because he still needs, I don't know, by my count, still needs about 800 to 850,000 ETH. So he's still got to buy. That's, I don't know, was that $2 billion or something like that. But maybe not quite that much. But he certainly needs quite a bit there to do that. So yeah, onwards and upwards here. And so we're going to see probably some pretty aggressive moves here. The one thing I'd say at the bottom here, we've got the 50-day at $2,265. And we've got the 200 moving average at $2,595. So let's say $2,600 there. And we're on the bottom range. So quite a different picture for the averages compared to Bitcoin, right? The price was up near the 200-day moving average. And here we are actually closer to the 50-day. And that's even with Tom Lee buying up, so much Ethereum. So that is kind of where we are on the mark there. Keep a lookout for that. I think once we blow, it's going to be fantastic. And we obviously know we're going to get over that $2,600 mark there. But on the weekly, if we go to the weekly quickly, let's have a look at the weekly for the old Ethereum. We will see that the weekly 50-day is at 27.48. And the 200 weekly is at 25.63. So if we ignore even that daily one at 2,600 for the 200-day moving average, then we've really got to get that between that 25.63 and 27.46 with the weekly average, 200 daily average in the middle there. So this range is pretty critical to get through, and once we get through that, big re-rate, right? Big re-rate, and we start heading towards the long-term resistance, right? And so let's go to the monthly quickly to look at that. So we're expecting to have a very ballistic move this year, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. So these are the monthly candles now. We've moved to monthly we went from daily to weekly to monthly, and we got this resistance at 5K. We've really, it's game on now though, right? So finance is coming to Ethereum, but Tom Lee is leading the way along with a lot of other key players. And so we're expecting once we blow 5,000, it's going to be a very explosive move to the upside. And that's when we can start to get some of these big numbers that Tom Lee's talked about, like 22K, later down the track, further down the track, maybe up to the $60,000 mark, etc. And of course, well into the future, maybe up to the $250,000 mark for ETH. And of course, that would suggest that ETH has become truly that new finance / money payment system, and that's why we would get up to the sort of numbers here. We'd assume that if we were at 250,000 for Ethereum, it would be $1 million Bitcoin. And so I've got it here at April 31 here, but this is an example. By the end of 30 year, we know that by 2032 we're only going to have 330 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin left to mine. So it's not much to mine there. 2 more halvings, right? And so it's going to be game on. We get to the 60K. That's suggestive that Bitcoin I think is at 250K at this stage. And then of course this 22 suggests that we're not at 25%, but we're at 9% of the 2021 all-time high relative to Bitcoin at 250, I think, which is what we might expect this year for Bitcoin, right? 250 that we had on the power curve, 220. So let's say we just go with that, and probably even higher, 250. Then that's quite reasonable. We get back to the all-time high. We've got all this tokenization, everything else happening, Clarity Act. Then getting to 22K this year is not unreasonable, guys. And so that's the target. That's a pretty fair target, I think, given what's happening with the fundamentals. So that would be 809x from here for Ethereum by the end of the year. So come back to the video and see how right this was and how right Tom Lee is. I guess that's the way to look at it. But certainly, once we break that 5K, up and away. All right, so what does that mean for the rest of crypto? Well, boom time, right? Boom time. Now, not everything's going to boom. If you're in crap projects, they're still going to crap out, right? So you got to be in good stuff, have a lot of good stuff in your portfolio, make some decisions. That's probably it. What else there? Nothing's financial advice, all that good stuff. What else there? I think we're just having a look at some of these comments here. Yeah, we're getting the Clarity Act, so I'll be able to talk about that one. So let's quickly look at zoom down on Ethereum. So obviously we've got all this demand coming. We've got the DATs, we've got the ETFs, we've got whales buying, right? And but we've still got the validated queue, right? The validated queue is sucking out supply. We see that supply out of exchanges is also falling down to record lows. I haven't got that chart up today. I should have put it up, but we've got the staking one for the validators. And we can see that we're up at near 3.8 million is going into the validator queue right now. And we haven't got that much leaving anymore. We got 307,000 leaving. So it's got pretty exciting, right? So that's really awesome. It's still got 30-day. You can see it's been climbing. Obviously, Bitmine's been one of the people helping make that happen. Because they're now at 90% of their ETH is staked. I suggest you probably by next week, Bitmine immersion could be 100% staked. So that's 5.2 million Ethereum could be staked there, and they're only after another 800,000 Ethereum. So they might probably hit that by August, September this year. That's my guess. Got to raise some more capital to do that, but I think they'll probably be fine doing that. All right, so let's just quickly go to the stake supply. Stake supply is looking pretty good. We've got total ETH stake there. Let's just do the stake. Get rid of that. Let's do the stake percentage. Stake percentage. That is sitting at the moment at 31.7% of all ETH is staked. Remember, it's about 120.7 million. Tom Lee's got 5.2, and he's 90% staked. It'll probably be all staked by next week, maybe even by this weekend. Who knows? Or at least getting in the validator queue, right? So supply is disappearing, and they're truly becoming a true anchor in the ETH system there. Pretty awesome. Still got another 800,000 ETH to buy too. So That's really going to help support that price to the upside. We've got the staking APR also sitting around about 2.8. It was recently up over 3%. So that's some pretty nice money. Imagine having 6 million ETH staked, and you're earning 3% on that, and you're doing all these additional services on top of it. It's going to be pretty juicy. They're also doing $2 billion for other third parties staking on their Maven platform. So some exciting things. It's just warming up, guys, setting the foundation for an extremely bright future, and that's when we get to these big numbers like 22K, 60K, etc., and of course maybe even 250,000 over this 10-year cycle here. But I think we're going to get a pretty aggressive 18 to 24 months ahead of us with the Trump economy really booming, and of course with crypto, with the transition from traditional markets to the blockchain, and particularly Ethereum benefiting there. All right, so that's kind of the overall narrative there. Let's have a quick look at some of this. We're going to get to this in a minute, but I want to get to this comment about Clarity Act. Now, the Clarity Act is moving forward. So we are seeing the prediction markets, the probability of that coming through, moving over 60%. And I believe we're going to have the write-up stuff coming out into May. So between May the 11th, May 21st, we should see that all done and dusted, and then moving for vote, I think, in June, and potentially at the president's desk by the 4th of July. That seems to be kind of the roadmap that I've seen so far. So the Clarity Act will bring in essentially the banking system in a bigger way than what we saw today with the Visa. Obviously, they're coming in anyway, but it's going to be a massive scale. How many banks in America? I think over 5,000, is it? Small banks, medium banks, something like that. And so boom time there as well. And of course, you've heard Michael Saylor talking about, the banking's offering yield. Maybe it's the stretch product repackaged as a third layer product. And, we could have millions of people flowing into crypto that way. So it's all going to get pretty crazy. You guys are all here super early. So pat yourself on the back for that, for sure. Leach just says, just a guess, but the Clarity Act will be anything but clarifying. It merely a fancy way of saying we're going to steal all of your Bitcoin, GF. Well, that's true to some degree as well. Hey, by the way, we're a family channel, so any swearing and stuff is not really welcome here. We got Frank Whitehouse there, a Bang Bang Pulse gang. Welcome, Frank. Welcome. Yeah, we're PG channel here. PG. Periential guidance. Make sure you got periential guidance. No, but we try to keep to the principles of no drama, PG content, etc. Because there's plenty of other channels that do all that sort of stuff, and so that's what we try to do here. All right, so Ran Nuna in the house, and so let's talk about that because this could be very interesting. So we're getting into Pulsechain content now, and obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum looking pretty bullish. Well, Ran Nuna here says, I was summoned to a secret location to interview a guest that I have wanted to interview for a while. We had to sign strict NDAs, but we made it happen. The interview was fire. We will release in a day or two when he is out of the location. Now, who could this be? Well, we know Richard Hart is still on the run because even though he bet the SEC, even though he bet Europol, he's still got Interpol out there trying to do a last attempt to try and find him. It's a bit like a billboard, isn't it? News billboard for people on the run, as it were. Well, is Ran Nuna talking about Richard Hart? Because that would be pretty interesting. A Liberty Swap thinks so. I know him, question mark. We got the old Liberty there. Brazil says no one cares unless it's Richard Hart, says Brazology. Pat Sammy says looking forward to it. Got Richard Hart there as well. So plenty of Pulsicans have jumped on to this. And of course, Richard Hart's got to be one of the most likely people for this to be because there can't be too many people on the run like that in the crypto space. And of course, he's the biggest founder that is on the run, so to speak. Although, he's not having to run too long, is he? Because it looks like everything is clearing up slowly and surely. So we may very well see Richard very soon, as my guess. So Richard Hart there. A lot of people jumping in there. Look at it, Richard Hart, the chef there. It's a good picture, actually. Richard Hart, the chef there. ZK wallet there, of course, is Liberty Swap too. I'm always laughing at Liberty Swap with their ZKX wallet because they're like two people now. Two people. It's pretty funny. Hexvader's in the house. Hey, gang, good to see Hexvader. Welcome to the chat there. Freddie quotes anyone other than Richard Hart, and this post is mid. Richard Hart says Mikey. So it's a great way of free advertising for the communities getting it. Even got Tam who was in here earlier. It would be amazing if it's Richard Hart. It would be indeed. Sean O'Malley too. He's a regular on the show and in our Discord, up only indeed. So Crypto Princess in the house there. Very, very cool. So not bad. We got Somi in there too. Glad you came to the interview, Ran. We hope you like watching from the chair, apparently. I'm not sure what that means, but we've got Hextrovert as well. That's Richard Hart. You'll see it in your numbers. Return of the King. We got that there too. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think it's Richard Hart? It's definitely a top candidate, maybe the best candidate for a post like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right. Let's jump over to the Pulsechain stats here. Now, I decided to move away from GoPulse because the bridge numbers are not adjusted, So we've moved to Pulsechain stats, a new site, of course, for statistics. And we've got here Pulsechain. It is day 1090. Can you believe it? You got the little day on the top left there with the pulse. But we got pulse at the moment, 508. So it's rounded up, so it doesn't have as many digits as it does on GoPulse. That's the only thing. But it says that pulse is down 0.08%. We got Hex at the moment is sorry, let's go to PulseX. It's in a different order, right? We'll go to PulseX first. We got PulseX at 506, and that is up 0.13%. We've got Ink Token at 35 cents. That is down 0.02%. We've got Hex on Pulsechain. I guess they don't have eHex, do they? Like GoPulse. So we're testing this out. I got used to a rhythm with the other one. But the other one didn't have ProveX on it, so it is what it is. So we're at PHEX there at 1300th of a penny, down just over 0.7%, and then finally ProveX is at 4064, down 2.36%. So that is the Pulsechain there. Now we're going to go to the bridge, the liquidity, I think. The bridge stats. So bridge stats, this has the adjusted number, right? This is the number that I have to adjust manually because of the Coast CSD stable on GoPulse, but it's at 53.93, so that seems about right to me. And so that is, it's pretty flat the last 24 hours, apparently, down 1.3% for the week. Now, we have seen quite a lot of money over the bridge in the last week, haven't we? At least maybe $1.5 million or something like that. But today we did have 40 ETH come over. I don't know whether it was Liberty Swap or who it was, but 40 ETH did come over the chain. So that was kind of a positive reversal. You can see the value of the chain there with the amount of that's come over the bridge there, and sitting around that 53-54 million there. So be it. So be it. There it is. All right, so kind of cool. What do we have? The daily inflow today. Now, this updates every day. I don't know whether it's just updated or we've got an update in an hour or something. So I don't know quite when that is. When does it say? And does it tell us? Not sure if it tells us what time of day it is, but it's pretty much around this time somewhere. So daily inflow, at least in the last day, to 360K in, 359K out. So apparently we're pretty much break even today. So that's better than losing a lot of money in. It also has the tokens there as well. So that is pretty much it. I'm not going to go through too much else, I don't think. What else we got there? Gas stats, validators. We normally go through that, don't we? Gas stats. Let's quickly see what gas stats looks like here. We're at 900,000 beats right now. That's pretty normal. Pretty normal what we had yesterday. And how much we got? It's a little different the way they set it up here, don't they? But basically, swapping at the moment is 1/10 of a penny. There we go, 136 pulse. There we go. And what was the last one we're going to look at? Validators, I think so. Yeah, validators. Validators. We've got validators at no high level stats for validators. 49,834 validators. There we go. Peak validators was 54,000. So that's kind of a cool stat. So that is the high-level numbers for Pulsechain, day 1,090, 10 days to go to 1,100 days, I guess. We just like to round things up, don't we? Now, Pulsechain at the moment is fighting for its life. No, I'm just kidding. It is fighting to find the bottom. I did a post on that yesterday. You may have seen it. You may not have seen it. But here is the daily here. We have come down into this consolidation rate. I'm going to get rid of that line over here and just put it over there, actually. But we've come down here on this 26th of May, and we are now fighting to find the bottom here, and we're giving it a good go. What do you guys reckon? Giving it a good go? I think so. So we have come down. We've touched 7,000. So that's 7,000 in US dollar terms. We have then fought back all the way back up. We've gone to 9,200. Not quite lost to zero, but then we've come down again. We've tested the 7,000 again back here on the 30th of April. So what's the difference between that period? Well, let's take the midpoint, around about 25 days, give or take. And then we're now back up. We're now pushing back up. So far, we've got up to 8,100. We're back down today to 7,700, and we're sitting just over the 21 daily moving average right now, which is still positive. So we want to bounce off that, right, ideally, and move back up and trying to move out of here. So that is the daily. So, not too bad. Let's go for the weekly here. The weekly right now, we obviously have got 1, 2, 3. Well, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. I did suggest that it might take 7 or 8 weeks at the minimum to find the floor. And two of the characteristics that we've found that are different is that generally speaking, every week was going down pretty sharply, right? Pretty sharply going down. We had 1 or 2 times, like back here in January, that there was a little bit of sideways movement, but didn't last that long, and down we come, right? So, but this time we've got quite a bit of time here consolidating in these weeks, 7 weeks now, making that, I think, characteristically quite different from the past. And also we have the RSI, right? The RSI is right down at the bottom here. And when we've come off the bottom, it's only generally been briefly. I mean, this is quite long here, back in May 24. Then we had a little touch here in March 25. But then we had a big RSI rally move. And of course, that rallied in the chart correspondingly. And so I think we're setting up pretty nicely for a good attempt here to find the bottom at 7,000. Barring any black swan event, what else is going to come up, right? What else is going to come up? Are the Pulsechain sacrifices exhausted? Surely they are. And we get some exploits? That's some of the risks, getting some big whale exploit or something like we saw the other day, presumably. And of course, no contract exploits or manipulations, which CryptoSolve indicates are probably over and done now. So hopefully we've got enough a sell-off now after 9 months of red candles to go up to the outside. So we've got the RSI in the right position. We're moving sideways in the right position. Is it going to be 8 weeks, or is it going to require another month, right? Is it going to be 12 weeks before we take off? As long as we consolidate over 7,000 and then we can start to try and move up and attack the upside. Now, my key mark here is 1,200 on the chart, so 40 is 1,200. And we'd want to get over that and then come and test it, presumably, and then start marching up the other side. And so if we go to the monthly chart, just to show the overall theme and the narrative that I'm arguing, the thesis that I'm arguing is that we've been in this mega downtrend for 36 weeks. We've had 9 months of downtrend here. We defeated the SEC on July 25th, and we have got a green candle now at the moment for the month. Are we going to get a green? Are we going to start attacking at 1,200? And will we move up and start breaking down this yellow line, and therefore get a green line to the upside, right? Green line to the upside, and will we start a mega uptrend, right, to the green line? Let's do green for that. Will we do that? So that's the thesis. Now, not necessarily over that time frame, but just the idea of that direction, and zigzag our way up, just like we zigzagged our way down here. We're going to start getting some sunshine there. Now, obviously, every time we go up, we need to have some profit taking so that we get rid of the people that got profits, and we need to find a good higher low and move up that way. And of course, the RSI, a good indicator of where we might go there. So that's kind of the play right now. Pulse is at 7,700, so still super cheap, but it looks like it's giving a good go to find the bottom here. And maybe we'll get some market makers and things like that coming in later on. So stay tuned. It's a Godmo candle. Is there such thing as an Omega candle on the old Pulsechain? There's not really, but what's our Omega candle? We'll just make it up. We'll make $1 million a day. Is that good enough? I don't know. Maybe $5 million a day. I don't know. You decide. But anyway, that's where we are right now. You just want it to slowly creep up there a little bit, don't you? Lay a strong foundation. Don't give people too much incentive for selling down. It's probably the way to go. All right, so that is the overall market on Pulse. Do we have any comments about that? I think we did on Leech. Had some comments about Pulse, didn't you? What do you have there? You had when the buy and burn release starts to kick in and affect prices, you'll wish you had more time on Pulsex. You haven't actually covered Pulsex for a while. We've been focused on Pulse, but I agree with you 100%. I think we're close to 9%, getting closer. I think we're getting closer there. Don't wait too long. Don't wait too long. The Bane burn on Pulsex will begin. Buy and burn and affect the price of token. Load up now. People don't say I didn't. Well, yeah. Well, I actually think the Pulsex probably a pretty good chart actually to pick up. You're quite right there. All right, so let's jump over to the top leaderboards right now. Over the 24 hours, this is the default view for Dick Screener, top 100. Do your own due diligence, not financial advice. Every so often, a new token will launch and it will be a honeypot. Once again, CryptoSolve is another good person for identifying some of those. So you should follow him as well if you want to get some extra checks there. Staked ETH at the moment is up 26% right now, sitting at 31/100th of a penny. Let's have a quick look, see what that looks like on the chart. Zigzag, a lot of volatility there. So it's a bit like going to the rodeo and riding a bull because you got, on a weekly time frame, there's a weekly candles. You got quite a bit of volatility there on the US dollar and also on the ratio to pulse there. So pretty crazy looking charts, isn't it? Pretty crazy. That's not log, by the way. That's a log chart there. But it is on the higher side with the pulse ratio. So not too bad there for staked ETH. 9mm, our second biggest DEX. So total volume at the moment in the top 100 here using DEX screener numbers is 3.6 million. That's pretty much where we've been a lot of the time, right? In the 3 million mark. We've got 363,000 transactions right now. 9mm is the second biggest DEX, a V3 DEX, and it's currently 320K. So it's about 10% of the volume. And Pulsex is the rest of it, just pretty much. We've got a few other little, trickles and some of these other ones, but essentially it. So 9mm there is up at 1.1 cents, up 20%, which is pretty cool. It's forget the Nana X1, all those pairs are crap, so to keep away from all those ones. So here we are on the price, already rallying, been going for quite a few weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks on the pulse ratio there, and on the US dollar price, but the actual candles for the pulse ratio are up and away. In fact, one could argue all the way back here in October. But even if you want to take the high part, 200, we're up at 1450. So, what a move. Even if you take the low here rather than that spike down, you are up 7x inside 196 days. So you're up strongly on your pulse ratio, and you've been earning the profit distributions on 9mm DEX as well, because that's what they distribute their profits, right? So not bad. What else? PTC the Greys is making a bit of a move as well, up 8% today. And, this is, some people love it. It's the first DAO token on the Pulsechain. They got the UFO token, just had that second year birthday. They've been really amazing as a community, doing a lot of dashboards and, talking about staking and locking and everything else. Got big influencers like Prairie Banana, Moon King, B Roots / E9ish, all those sort of guys. So it's got a lot of support. One of the biggest communities. So there's lots of what you call pumpamental features, and it's been pretty much sitting around this. Was it 301? Just below 301. Trying to hold on there. Recently went to 1700. But it got sold off there. These are weekly candles, by the way. So take note of that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Let's jump back. So those are some of the leaders there at Staked ETH, 9mm, PTC, up to between number 1 and 5. RhinoFi, linked into Provex, that's up 7.4% today, so well done to them, bouncing back up. UFO, of course, tied into Peacock. The PDC, I should say, up 6% at number 7. Atropa from James Maria is up 6% as well, just over 6%. And then number 10 is the Pulse Guy tied into the Peacock ecosystem, and that is up 6% as well. And they are doing a lot of DeFi. I think they've got like 10 different projects or something like that on the old Pulse Guy. So yeah, those are the leaders. Let's move further a bit down here. We've got Reserve Tay, James Maria, 5.8%. I think it's pretty much James Maria, 5.8% there. Number 16 is Die Hard. And of course, we're not talking about the movie there. What a great movie that was, but we're not talking about that. Up 5% right now. Gizmo at number 18, up 4.8% at number 18. BFF from OG Web Chef there. That is number 20, up 4% there. Teddy Bear from James Maria, number 21, up 4%. I haven't checked all the volumes on there. Some of these got very small volumes. So just take note of that. So I'm just doing the rank order there. I don't Sometimes I forget to look at the actual 24-hour volume, so just take note of that. Pump Tires Die is we got Pulsechain in the middle there, but Pump Tires Die at number 23 at 3.7%. Swarm up 3.5% there at number 24. Then a lot of teddy bear peers from James Maria. Most Wanted, one of the top meme coins as well, is at number 29, up 2.6%. A1A, the old rap song there, at number 32, is up 2.25%. And then Vouch, a number one public validator, and a number one liquid staking product like Lido and Rocket Pool, that's up 2.25% today. Recently got a boost in the old rewards. Liquid Loans, our largest sacrifice project outside of Pulsechain and Pulsex, over $52 million. That's up 2%, sitting at 1600 right now. And what else is going on? In fact, let's have a quick look at Liquid Loans. A liquidity fork, right? It is the biggest stablecoin project on Pulsechain, with the Pulse as the collateral. And let's go to the weekly candles, and we'll try and get rid of that first week because it really skewed the chart there. Is it going to auto log? Oh, there we go, auto log. So, down chart, of course, on the US dollars. But let's look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio there, let me get rid of that first candle. We're down at about 0.02 pulse per liquid loans token, sitting in the mix there, right? That's in the mix there. How old is that now? 2 years and 5 months. So about five. Well, I don't know if this is the first peer, but 5 months. Is that the first peer? I don't know if that is actually. But the Hex Goldwell, he locked his coins for 2 years. Remember that? To get the bonus. So yeah, he's got them now, but sitting on those. So yeah, that's kind of where the price is right now. So not really exciting on the old liquid loans. 227k market cap, and people gave $52 million for that. So it's just what it is. I mention it because it always blows my mind. Just the differentials, just crazy, right? What else we got? Top Hat tied into Peacock, number 37 at 1.7%. Mafia token there, coin launcher site from Rack and Michelle, $2.75, up 1.5% at the moment. Doubt token, another meme coin, of course, on Pulsechain, popular one, up 1.1% at number 39. Moving further down here, Firewall there, up almost 1%. 406400 right now on the old Firewall, tied to the Most token. Obviously, Most was up here, wasn't it? Up here further. Yeah, Most at number 28. A ZKP from Kairos, really kicking butt with the old DeFi, leading the DeFi, I would say, overall on Pulsechain. There are a couple other players like Cabal King and the True DeFi team, others, but certainly those guys are leading the pack in the DeFi and creating some real excitement and opportunity on the chain. So well done to all those guys. That is up over 0.4% right now. Buy ZKP, stake it, and ImproveX. Pretty cool. Stacks is number 47. That is where we are starting to get into the red numbers. So we've got 46 out of the top 100 peers green today, and then everything else is slightly red. So there we go, including quite a few of the Richard Hart stuff, Incentive Token, Pulsex, etc. We might come back to the old Pulsex chart in a minute. Zendog timed the Peacocks down a little bit too. Halgo, Hex Derivative down 1%. Curve there tied into the I think real estate tokenization. That's down 1.25% there. Sparta, a Hex derivative, down with a Hex treasury with no Hex in it. Just about that's down 1% there. We got PMX 500 down 1.6%, number 74. What else there? Top Hat tied into Peacock as well. That's down 2% from Crypto Coffee, our top influencer. Zero Trust there, tied into Peacock, one of the trifectas, down 2.4%. ProveX at the moment, Richard Hart's latest technology, is sitting at 6,400. We did mention it earlier, but that is where we are at the moment. We're below the 21 4-hour moving average, and most importantly, we're below the 21-day moving average, which is at 6,900, and we're at 6,400. So just a little bit of work to do, but look at that. I think that'll be a key catalyst for the upside. So keep a lookout for that. Actually, what was the market cap for that? Let me see. What was the market cap for that? Oh, I missed the market cap. Anyway, screw it. We're not going to worry about the market cap now. Let's keep going down. We're doing well going down into the red territories. No one likes to go down in the red territories, but we're at ProveX. Market cap was what? I thought I'd have market cap on here. It's supposed to be on the end here, but I don't know. It's disappeared, is it? Yeah, no market cap number. What the heck? I don't know. Anyway, so we got a few others here for Investor down here, down 4% right now, sitting at $1.17. The grandparent for the OG web ecosystem. Source under mini meal at 4.3%, down 5.6%. Even the mighty Peacock is down at the moment, down 5.9%. And that is ticking away there. Emmett Farm, our leading farm, is at $1.27, down 5.9% as well. SCADA there, down 5.95%, one of our boutique tokenomics ecosystems there. Dominance from OG Web Chef is down 6% as well, sitting at 1/10 of a penny. Zero Trust tied into the old Peacock system, down 6% as well. And True Farm there, down as well a little bit there. Did we have it? So we got adjusted, didn't we? All the percentages got moved. But does Zero Trust there, down 6%, and True Farm, another leading farm on Pulsechain, along with Emmett, offering high yields, down 7% at the moment. And then our recent project launching from Cabal King, Omega DAO, that's down 10% right now, sitting at 00018. Let's have a quick look at that one and see what is going on there. So down today, but still, it's still not too bad on the US dollar price, sitting above the 1600. And you earn HEX on this, don't you? You earn HEX, and they have a locking mechanism, but like PTC the Greys there for getting more yield by locking longer. And I think it's very long, but it gives you a multiplier effect on your yield. So that is currently sitting at 23.4 pulse at the moment on the 4-hourly charts there for Omega there. All right, so that's pretty much it on the leaderboard there. Should we go and check out, I think we're going to quickly check out Pulsex, were we? I think we were. We'll go check Pulsex amongst friends. How about that? Pulsex amongst friends. We've got to find a peer though. Pulsex here, 1.6 million. That seems like a good one. Let's do look at that one. All right. So Pulsex here on the weekly. Obviously, the 21 weekly average is up here at 5 zeros, almost 9,000. We're down all the way down here at 5 zeros, 5,700. Obviously, this is the US dollar, so we're reflective of Pulse itself. And we've sort of bounced off this low here way back on the 23rd of February, and we got to a low of 5,000 basically. So we're above that, 5,700 now. So not a lot above, but we're still above. Let's look at the pulse ratio though. Obviously everything relative to the pulse rate on the pulse chain, and the chart's still looking pretty good, right? Here's the weekly there. We're sitting at 0.74. So Pulsex to pulse. So even though it was you would have been better off. It used to be one Pulsex used to be worth a quarter of a pulse. Rallied all the way up to 1-to-1. So you would have made a lot of pulse just by backing Pulsex between September 23 and February 25. Then it sort of went on a downtrend, went down to about, what's this low here? Low of maybe 0.6, so one Pulsex with 0.6 pulse. And then it had a nice little rally back up to 95, almost 1-to-1 again. And it's zigzagged along here for quite a few months, and now is sitting with a pretty volatile week this week. It is sitting at 3/4 of a pulse. So one Pulsex, 3/4 of a pulse. So looking pretty good. And presumably if we get pulse on the run, this will run higher, right? And we can probably get over 1-to-1. What do you guys reckon? We've got the buy and burn operating, heading towards 9%, I think it is it? 9%, somewhere like that. So yeah, we could see some pretty exciting things happening there. On there. Let's go to GoPulse actually. Let's go cheat. GoPulse there. What is it? The buy and burn 8.93%. Yeah. So on their numbers. Now I think Pulsechain Stats has slightly higher numbers, like 9.2 or something. So who knows what's the difference there, but that is in play. So that is Pulsex right now. So still looking decent, I think. 3/4 of a pulse. But if we do get pulse on that uptrend, as we talked about with the pulse chart, we find the bottom over the next few weeks. Maybe next week, who knows? We could see this start leveraging again. Everything leveraged relative to Pulse, if it's a good project, right? If it's a good project, that's pretty much it. Now let's go to Pulsecoin list, is it? Yeah, Pulsecoin lists, and we're going to go have a look at the charts here. We're going to go to 24-hour liquidity, and we're going to see the ones that are really contributing. Now we only had 3.6 million on Dex Screener for volume. That's typically where we've been, somewhere in that point. And then on the weekend, we can even be lower, right? Even be lower. But that doesn't include the balance of forks. They're probably adding maybe 100, 200,000 more or something like that. But here we are with Pulse Coinlist, and they have the volume. So 24-hour, apparently Pulse Chain doing 2.4 mil. And we got PDI doing 430K. So PDI up 16% for the week, 7% today. So making a bit of a comeback, the old PDI, and that's sitting at 430K. So still pretty big. Wrapped ETH from Ethereum is doing 350K. Hex there doing 297K. And then we've got Prevex doing 290, Pulsechain doing 255. And we've got Treasury Bill doing 134. So interesting to see Treasury Bill move in there. And then Wrap Bitcoin as well, up 110K. So we've got 8 coins based on Pulse CoinList data doing over 100K. And that's kind of, they're like what I call the titans. They're the ones that are really contributing. They're the ones that Liberty Swap likes to get them using over their services because having PDI community doing volume and users like that doing volume, Wrap Bitcoin stuff, Prevex on Liberty Swap earns fees, right? Earns fees for Peacock and the Treasury. They not only they buy Peacock, they buy Ethereum and Pulse too, right? Or they try to accumulate that, and they can, I guess, wield that at any particular time, right? Particular time there. Leech Star says Crypto Coffee is the OG Pulsechain. Like me, says Leech Star. Absolutely is. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now with the coins. So doing, what do we say, 8 pairs. Below that, we've got some that are not too far away. We've got a Tropa incentive token, Hex from Ethereum, and Peacock doing 74K apparently at the moment. So those are some of the heavyweights. So if we can double our volume, we can probably double the number of peers that are doing 100K. That's sort of the logic, and so on. So 8 to 16, for example, we went to, what was it, 6.6 million, and it's a much better environment. All right, so that is pretty much it. What else can we say about that? I think that's it, isn't it? We were up to on the clock there, an hour and 2 minutes. I think it's a good place to finish. Hope you guys have enjoyed the content. I don't know if Richard's got anything happening at the moment. I don't know if his last update on Richard. Let's quickly go and check out Richard Hart just to wrap up the show. And it's a good place to finish, isn't it? Richard Hart, there. Now, Richard Hart, of course, not following anybody at the moment, so he's taking that approach. And what else? 12 hours ago, he did this here about AI. So talking about AI there. He also called out something around privacy as a human rights. We'll give a few likes to these. What else did he do? Some rights there. Well, yeah, we all agree with him about the rights. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's a good place to finish, I reckon. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulsechain. Get ready for the run. It's going to be glorious. And of course, I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. And look forward to more bullish news coming up. Everything is heading in the right direction, and it is up and to the right. So expect a pretty aggressive year this year in the markets and into next year. Going to be good. All right. Take care. Catch you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the follows. Hit the repost, and then I will catch you guys tomorrow for another daily stream covering all your great favorite things. And of course, life-changing gains are really on the table right now. Going to be really cool. Really cool. All right, take care. Bye for now. And thanks for that. Right, great stream, bro. I appreciate that. All right, bye for now.